To be frank, that is the most difficult scene for me in the film.
All of these people are waiting to hear what I have to say. I better have something sensible.
This man has basically dumped her in a subway.
Sitting and watching this fellow doing this in the TV, and she's stuffing her face with sambar.
I cried thinking, when will I act like this?
Yeah, that's so much I can talk, but
I have a board that says spoilers don't answer.
It's like drama. I like problems.
you come across him and you're like, huh.
Locked and loaded. You were ready.
Hello guys, this is Team Visleshakulu back with a very special episode. For the first time ever, we are interviewing real stars and big stars. We have the team of SapthaSaagaralu Dhaati, SideB, with us, releasing on November 17th. So this is like the second interview we are doing with a movie team. Okay, so like we were asking, the biggest question that we have whenever we speak to somebody who's affiliated to the movie industry is making a movie difficult or is promoting it difficult in today's generation?
Anyone can go ahead.
Okay. So making the movie is obviously not easy, but at the same time, we love making the film. So because of that, probably we enjoy it so much that it doesn't seem like difficulty.
Right.
But obviously, promoting the film is very very difficult.
We can
Saying
see it.
same information again and again.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes, yes.
nice, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
So-
we can actually empathize with you guys, squeezing your timeline, squeezing your schedules, and talking with two strangers with the movie you love and movie you made. But it's all love for the film. We can understand that.
Yeah, no,
For-
that's the thing. Like I'm obsessed with this movie. I love talking about it. I catch strangers on the street and I'm like, "Have you watched Sapta Saagaralu Dhaati?" Yeah, right.
for
Yes.
for me, if the actors can come and do the publicity, I'm very happy because that is
You don't have
it's
to.
not
I know, I know, I know.
it is not my job. They're the face of the
Oh.
That's so. Oh.
No. We have to disagree, Hemant, because at least in our day and age, the director is as big a face of the movie as an actor is.
No, that's
Oh.
a very big
Uh,
compliment. I really appreciate it. But what I'm saying is, for me, making the film is easier. I do not like
Ah.
I do not like facing the camera. I'm very shy by nature. So
So, what I want to understand is we are primarily coming from a point where we understand writing as a process. We are trying to understand direction, screenplay. What we don't have any clue whatsoever is how do people act? How do you even bring out an emotion? Because sitting with people and talking, that's just another thing. But when you're acting such a deep role in that situation with so many people around you, especially in part A when Manu and Priya have a fight in the near the staircase surrounded by so many people.
Subway.
Yeah, in the subway. So how do you forget about your environment and isolate yourself? How do you like detach from reality?
So everybody who are walking around are our own people.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
people, artists.
yeah.
Background
Artists.
artist. Yeah.
To be frank, that is the most difficult scene for me in the film. Not because of the emotions I had to portray, because Hemanth, shot her close-ups first, and I was in the suggestion.
Okay.
And in the suggestion, I gave my 100%. So we went like
Okay.
7 8 takes there, and I did all those 7 8 takes. And then when they came to my close-up, I was like, I've done this like 7 8 times already. How do I get it back? So I remember that day. I think after one or two takes, also some background artists, the way they were walking or something, Hemant had a problem with that. Because of that, we had to shoot like few more takes there. And at one point, I got stuck, because I'd done that enough and I couldn't repeat it. It was not coming from inside. I was just being, I felt that I was being monotonous. So I asked him for like 10 minutes. I don't know how to do it, but let me delete everything and take some time and probably get that emotion once again. So yeah, that was the most difficult take, to be frank.
Right.
Got it. Also, just adding on this, there's a strong positive and hopeful vibe between Manu and Priya in the side A. So we want to know, even the relationship is shown in such a way that they are very casual about their relationship. They don't do melodramatic dialogues. Like they are very casual. They are normalizing being in relationship. They enjoy their puffs. What did you do in that workshop to create this magic? We want to specifically know. We heard that you guys had a workshop before going to the shoot.
Yeah.
So we want to know what happened, what magic was created in that workshop.
I'll tell you what the secret sauce is. The secret sauce is Hemant made us cook a meal.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Went in there thinking that we would be working. I mean, I went in there thinking I'd be working on script or singing or doing dialogues or doing blocking or some nonsense. Hemant had us wearing blindfolds and climbing over things and, making a secret handshake and, yeah, and cooking him sambar and rice.
Oh,
So I
cherry
think
on
that's
the
the
top.
secret.
I,
Great.
apart from building a certain trust between Rakshit and Rukmini as people, see, couples basically work with the idea of memory. There's like a very strong memory associated to being in a relationship, like the first time that you went out, first meal that you had,
True.
the first fight that you had, the first kiss that you had, and so on and so forth. It's like infinite number of firsts, right? So uh, then when you start adding these memories to these two wonderful actors, now both of them have the same memory of this
Right.
oh,
incident,
right.
right? So we worked more on creating those, like a library of emotions for them to sort of fall back on, and for them to sort of understand at what stage of the relationship they are. Like Rukmini the other day made a very fine point, because see, once you know that the couple has been physical, the couple has no issues with space, there is a certain way you are with each other, next to each other. There's a certain
Correct.
comfort zone that comes automatically. Like when you see couples on the road, you can tell that they're in love, right? You don't need to talk to them. So I was trying to bring that feeling out. And you know a lot of times you have a lot of intent, you throw a bunch of ideas, some of them stick. So I'm very glad
Yeah.
that it worked. But the good thing is that both of the actors, and I have to say this about Chaitra also, in SideB, you need actors to completely be vulnerable with the idea. Like if they are not vulnerable with the idea, and if they don't see the logic or sense in it, then they won't apply. They won't want to do
Got
it,
it.
especially extremely intelligent actors, who all three of them are. So,
But coming to Chetra in the trailer, and I'm refraining myself from watching any kind of promotional content because I want to like
but we are
absorb
doing we
everything.
are doing a
No,
promotional
no, no.
interview.
No, no. I meant to say the videos and the clippings
No,
from
no,
the
I know,
movie.
I know, I know, I know.
So Chetra has such a menacing vibe. There is something that she's hiding, or in terms of she's very intense and she's going to add another dimension to the story. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Because see, when you look at Manu and Priya's character, they are very plain. Both of them are extremely in love with each other. That's what you get. But who is this new person? What is she? What are her intents? Is she
Yes.
going to accept Manu, or is she going to help him, or is she going to turn things into her own agendas? I'm just throwing out what my thoughts are. You may reveal whatever you can, but that's my takeaway from whatever I've seen yet.
That's
None of the characters are plain inside B.
Oh,
That's actually a
that's all drama.
very good point.
But we have a sword fight also.
Oh.
No, joking, but the edit is so beautiful that he wants to say so many things, but he's very smartly just cut a lot of things, and then he's given a different narrative where people can come up with their own, story looking at
Correct.
this particular character. But here, yeah, this lady also comes with a lot of baggage. She also has her her past or whatever she's going through currently. So when such character meets Manu, who's come out of the jail after 10 years, oh god, there's so much drama to do. So this story also is, I am a part of that drama which is already existing, and how I will come in between all of this, and what happens, forget what is happening to them, what happens to me also is one,
Exactly.
this, to play the character also, it was so, it's like, yeah, you already have a love story, then I'm coming, what are you doing to me, in this. That
exactly.
was my major question to Hemant also, when he said, why did you have to write this character first? It's like drama, I like problems, so it's like that. No, there is a lot of
I
complexity.
like
I like
problems.
problems.
Yeah. So
No, no.
just like
Rukmini was say something.
Hemant.
No,
Yeah.
I was just saying that there's a lot of complexity. Yeah.
Right.
Each of these characters, like you were saying that Manu and Priya are quite simple in that, their objectives and their motivations in life are very clear cut at
Correct.
that point. So
Correct.
now, 10 years after, we come back with very changed lives, very different complex motivations, but there's remnants of the people they were are still very
Correct.
much within them. Then we come with an intensely like complex character like Surabhi. So
No, so
Yeah.
for me, it's the reason why I'm very excited about Side B. Even when I was writing the film, the main aspect of Side B that really I think fascinated Rakshit as well to do the film is the places that the script is going to, which is slightly unconventional to usually where Indian cinema is. Like
Right.
usually in Indian films, you notice that the story ends, it's a tragedy, and that's it. All of you go home.
Right.
But or it's a happy ending and all of you go home. So this is a story about don't go home. This is what happens after. So that is very new for us. For so it feels very new. It is a very exciting thing for us.
I
Like
want to ask one more question for the actors. So we've seen the making video which was released, and at the last of the making video, we see Hammond doing this when there is an okay shot, doing this. So this is fine. So what does Hammond do when there's something not happening the way he wants?
wait, so at this, yeah, yeah, that's true. That he does. No, but this is not, and this I know because I have nagged him about this multiple times. This is not like a shot working or not working. This
oh,
is
Edit.
this is him figuring the edit.
Edit.
Like
This is
the
like this is where I
beginning.
cut.
This is where I use. This is where I stop.
And then when it is not working, this is what he
Yeah.
does.
No, but when he's
oh.
working also he does that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just does that.
It's a raw.
No, for me the clicking is where the cut point is of the shot. So if I've got the cut point, I'm like I edit myself. So and
Okay.
I work. I mean, I shoot with a very strong edit in mind. I don't shoot a lot of coverage.
Okay.
So I shoot what I
Okay.
want for the scene. So there are rarely a scene where I shoot a lot of extra footage and then on the edit table decide to construct the scene. The scene is already constructed, so it becomes very
Okay.
important to shoot exactly what I want then. So that is the
More than the times when things are working for him, you should actually see him when things are not working for him.
That was
That
his
is
actor.
more fun actually. When he's like confused, figuring out what to do, what to do. I was thinking about something, but that is not coming, and he's trying to manage somehow, and suddenly you come across him, and you're like, huh. See on my face, I'm confused. That is more fun actually.
though it is very scary because I remember one incident. We were shooting and at 7 o'clock in the morning I had come to the location and I was walking to see. I was basically walking and walking towards this. It's a huge location, a college. It's a Sunday. They give the location only on Sunday. So I'm walking and I
Okay.
I turn around and there are like 60 people walking behind me. Like you have the cameraman, you have the light boys, and you have my ADs. All of them are walking behind, thinking I am going to a location. I am going to the loo. I was looking for the loo. And I turn around and I had to tell them, I'll come back in 5 minutes. I'm just finding the restroom. So when that happens, you feel very anxious because you're like, all of these people are waiting to hear what I have to say. I better have something sensible. So it's very scary, and that's the anxiety of the job, but you start enjoying it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
as Chaitra mentioned, we are also diehard fans of drama. Like we want drama in movies. Like we want two characters to sit and converse about their what's happening around them, conversational movies and organic conversations. So my question to Hemant specifically is: so while writing a screenplay or dialogues or whatever it is, you wrote a dialogue or a sequence, you come back and see, considering the attention span we have as a generation, do you think this might not hold the audience as I'm thinking or I'm expecting, and rewrote that particular sequence again, or some kind of thing happened in that, revisiting your script anywhere in the process of writing?
As a student of cinema, I have come to the conclusion that if you write if a compelling scene, you can make anybody sit and watch.
Okay.
So that is a challenge to the writer. Like it has to be engaging. So you are always trying to set the bar very high in terms of I am aware that the attention span is low. I am aware that today especially people are very restless and they would want to prefer to in the middle of a very serious conversation or in their personal lives also they would be plagued by looking at the phone. I also do it.
True.
So in a film hall, the chance of them doing it is even more. So the onus of making it very tight, the onus of making it or getting it spot on from a writing perspective becomes very exciting. It's like a challenge. But
Okay.
you do take chances. Some places you take chances.
Okay.
Like Side A, I've taken a lot of chances, you know, with the pacing of the film, for example. I knew that there are certain scenes which I am staying on for another 5 seconds. I can cut the 5 seconds, but if I stay on that 5 seconds, it is the music is being, is going to find a way into your soul. The performance is going to find a way into your soul. So there are some chances where you have taken, and you're like, attention span will be challenged. So
But we loved it.
yeah, it worked. It has worked largely. For some it is not. So side B that way is not going to be challenging on the attention span, for sure.
Okay.
It is a different kind of films, which is why it is like two sides of the same story. So
Got it.
So obviously, side A had blues and whites representing what Rukmini is as a character, what Priya is, and Chaitra is even embodying her on-screen persona on the interviews as well with her reds. So
All of us are wearing red except
Yeah, we're
Rakshit.
all trying to
But
represent
yeah,
I
some
have read
red
it.
here.
yeah, here
mm,
oh, it doesn't look. Director also follows red code, but most of the time he'll say one line is there. See red subtitle. So
so I primarily am a little bit more aligned towards how colors work, how colors speak to us and everything. And what excited me the most in part is even when you use the most soothing colors, the blues and the whites, it's still giving a menacing output with the edit, like you mentioned, and even with the music. I can't imagine how menacing it will be in side B now with everybody having an exponentially bigger agenda and an exponentially higher amount of baggage over the last 10 years. So, is that red intentionally describing the chaos that's about to come, or is it just another opposing personality depiction kind of a thing?
it both, a bit of both, I would say. When we were
Okay.
designing the color scheme for the film, Dvait and I, we had a very clear idea that we want to, treat blues differently. In Just because we are all of us are wearing red doesn't mean that there's no blue in the film. There is a
Okay.
certain reason why we sometimes the best way to show presence of something is through its absence. So
Great.
the idea of using red as a replacement of blue, there is a certain what do you say, a certain kind of a dance that happens between the two colors in the film,
Okay.
which I think would be better experienced, and not as these are things that we should speak about after the film. So
Okay.
but yeah, there are certain design ideas that we had with regard to the colors and treatment of color, primarily because we wanted to subconsciously sort of impact the audience viewing experience.
No, I personally am a very big fan of minimalism, and I'm very happy with how minimal the entire frames looked. So clean, and very little clutter. Your attention is just towards what you want to see. So that's something I just want to congratulate you for designing and achieving that to the
No,
best. So
I both Advait and I are very particular about, like, any filmmaker worth his salt should be particular about his frame, in the sense that like where some properties are, everything is, it's visual arts, so it is very fun, and it's music to my ears when somebody says it's very nice. These things were very nice.
Yeah.
right.
So apart from these three lead actors, I find there are other three characters which are as important as these three. One is tape recorder, second one is the beach, and the third one is the cloth dyeing machine. And these three are like they play so much character. They bring so much. Like you see, even in the trailers, you use that sound to the cloth dyeing machine or the waves. So how do you try to get that sound design on point? Because we don't find it disturbing, but it's still haunting the way in the trailer or in the movie.
A lot of that credit in terms of achieving the idea has to go to Rajakrishna sir.
Okay.
who's credited as the audiography for the film. I'm very excited about sound in the film. For me, that is what actually defines a film experience. It's not the largeness of the screen. It's in the script level itself. There'll be a lot of sound ideas, like where I'll be
Okay.
looking to tell the story only through the use of sound. Like, I'll have an idea, but the magic is actually done by Raja Krishnan sir, who will give life to the idea, because ideas are worthless if you are not filling it with the
Yeah.
right kind of energy. So
Yeah.
a lot of sound work we have planned within the film itself. Like, there are a lot of things that are there in side B which I'm excited about with regard to sound, where we have tried to sample real life sounds as part
Okay.
of the sound experience. So we want to create a thing where it's very difficult to differentiate where the background score is and where the effects is. So it's like
Okay.
very symbiotic with each other.
Correct. Great.
Okay.
Very nice to hear you're so passionate about it, and you're even more when you're talking about it, your whole mood changed.
I have to stop
Rightfully.
myself. There are many times when I am talking about sound and I'm like, maybe I'm talking too much about this. I should
No,
shut
no,
up.
no. We're glad we asked that. Actually, have something to ask to Rukmini, because the entire movie inside A, when I was watching, I was just trying to understand how is Priya so patient with everything. Doesn't she have this tolerance? Doesn't it end anytime? And at the end, she just breaks the fucking window of the entire car. And that's when I was like, yes, that's what you should do. And and please, thank you for doing this. So I just wanted to know how did you feel while you were acting that scene? I don't know if it was shot towards the beginning or the end, but
She has such a great boyfriend. Like, I mean, come on, nobody would want to meet like a guy like that,
no, no,
right?
I'm not,
You
I'm not
better be
saying.
patient.
Yeah. I was going to say that,
Manu is
but
taking
now I'm.
complete credit.
Yeah, he was taking full, and I know I've got a character with agency. I'm not letting this man steal all of it. No, but as irritating as it is, it's true. I for Priya, Manu's constancy, and I feel like that's why I think the first part of their relationship that we see, the part that's unmarred by any of this trauma, is so important because you see the constancy of that relationship. You see the mundaneness of it, but you see the deep love.
Correct.
I mean, they're fighting over puffs. He's playful and stupid, and he wants to go see a house that neither of them can afford. And she's like, "Please, can we not do this?" But she has fun when she does it. You see that relationship, and then it's small and playful. But the reason that it rings true later on is because we've been exposed to this part of them. And
Correct.
for me, I think the thing that made Priya really real to me and a real woman, like a realistic woman, is the part where she doesn't go and see him briefly,
Yeah.
where she doesn't see him for a week or a month or whatever that time is, because she's exerting control over there. This man has basically dumped her in a subway, and he's like, "Yeah, I have to go. It's 35 lakh," and she has a full on meltdown in public, and he's gone. And then over there in front of camera crews, he's like this, and she's like, "Man, I'm gonna eat my sambar rice here. Do what you will." So that was so real to me. But I think that time and in the way that I prepped those scenes is very crucial because she sees the absence that she sees the space that his absence has left in her life. And it's not a matter of ego for her to go back. It's like I think Hemant was saying just now, the absence of something makes it clear to you how important or how present
True. True.
it once was. So his absence is that thing that she realizes that, okay, even I can't live without this. Like, I need that support back in my life. So when you are lucky enough to find a relationship of that kind of constancy, you do whatever you can for it. For her is three
Got it.
buses.
So, can we expect any such great outburst moment from Chaitra as well? Did you have the pleasure of doing something like that? Yes or no
I
will
don't
do.
know. I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of
I have a board that says spoilers don't answer.
No, 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 we don't mean it that way.
Even we don't know what's going to happen inside. We want.
no,
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
there
we don't.
will no.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already told that there's going to be a lot of drama. So
Correct.
you can expect a lot of things from side B that way. But yeah, I'm not going to give away a lot of information.
No, we
You
didn't
told
mean to.
yes.
No, no, drama in the sense outburst. It need not be an outburst. Also, no,
Yeah, yeah.
like
It,
outrageous stuff also. But you can be simple stuff. But
But one of the things that I really, really enjoyed writing, and I'm sure a lot of people are relating to, which is very nice, is that often when you write love stories, right, you don't write the fight between the couple, and how women fight in relationships is not something that is it's nice to see. It's nice to explore that for me as a writer.
yeah,
Like the
you
whole,
have stand on
you know, like,
point on this
like I
and
loved
give us.
I loved shooting that whole point of she's not eaten food for 2 days, okay, but she's sitting and watching this fellow doing this in the TV, and she's stuffing her face with sambar because she's angry and hungry at the same time. And I was like, I know somebody who has done this. I know I've seen my wife do this, so it was like perfect.
No, actually, too. I thought I have assumed wrong, but that felt very real. The way she doesn't meet him, that's where
Hmm.
she shows her anger on him. She can't afford to show real anger on him because of the situation he's in. But this absence itself will communicate that, see, this is not right. And this might be a little too nitpicky, but Rukmini, you lived in a house that was basically living on chips. So how did you even resist not eating those while you were? So
Listen, if Priya's anything like me, she really was eating those chips. She was just eating them angrily. She was just really pissed and she was still eating. Like I believe that is what was going on her for her. She just wasn't eating in front of other people. Prove a point.
but yeah, I wish there were more chips with the sambar rice next time. They're a great combination.
I will make sure to try that out.
and just want to extend on what Shikhar asked to Surabhi's character. What was the logline brief given to you when you first got on board? Without spoiling, without spoiling.
She's a strong, independent woman. She's unapologetically living her life, and she has a lot of baggage.
Oh,
And
No, I mean, Hemant was smiling when she started answering, and then the smile slowly started fading away.
No, I have tears in my eyes. Not, I mean, I want to make it very clear.
my name is
Somewhere in between, I took Amritajar and put it on my nose and then rubbed my eyes. Since then, I've been crying.
So that's her. And she's also a flawed character. So when such a character meets so many other flawed characters, what happens?
She's free of
So do
judgment.
that.
I think that is one thing that encapsulates her really well. She's free of judgment. She does not care
right.
what people think of her.
That's how you
Yeah.
write banger second halves, right? In second half, you get a banger new character that's adding a new dimension to the story. But now it's like another movie itself. So really excited for that. So I just want see. I'm just deviating from the movie talk here, but I'm a huge fan of dosa, right? And I have not had the pleasure or luxury of eating a benne masala dosa. So
Mm.
how I just want one answer from you guys: is the Rameswaram Cafe hype real or not?
No. It's
Uh,
not. Yeah,
I
I
say
mean,
Rakshit reaction.
good. It's good, but we do have a lot of other.
Listen,
masala.
Rameshwaram is basic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you enjoy it.
Oh,
No,
It's very tasty. It's very tasty.
No,
Don't
but
get me wrong.
you should try it once.
You must try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
But there
try it
are a
once.
plethora of options.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Bangalore has so many different places which gives amazing.
Go to
banana masala
Darshini's.
dosa.
Like go to the Kuti Kuti
CTR
Darshini.
also
No,
is
Yes.
yum.
there.
CTR, yes.
Vidyarthi Bhavan.
No,
Vidyarthi
but
Bhavan, yes,
see,
yes.
the thing is, I'll tell you the beauty about Rameswaram. Okay, at 2 o'clock in the morning, after you had like you've gone out, with few friends, had a couple of drinks, you come back and you're like when you're hungry, and somebody is ready to give you bede masala dosa.
right.
I don't think it is about taste at that point of time.
It's all
It's
about
just the
experience.
availability. It's like finding an oasis in the desert. You are like, you don't care if water quality. But excuse me. But to be fair, their dosas are quite very. They're of. I mean, the quality is quite good.
God.
I think Hemant knows the guy who's the people who run.
Sure,
childhood.
Not at all.
I'm
Not
just
at all.
kidding.
Yeah, so coming back to the movies, when I was rewatching,
Sorry for this. Had to ask it. Couldn't resist.
so coming back to the movies, when I was rewatching the film, I've observed kind of interesting cut in first half, where you place these two characters in a situation and then you cut it, and the timeline moves forward. Like I'll give an example so it makes sense. Where Manu opens the door of a car, the lady gets in, and when the time he comes back and uh, sits in the car, it's Shankar Gowda in the car. And similarly, when they are in the house hunt sequence, they talk about how not ventilated this bedroom is, and they go back to the kitchen, and then it's surprisingly new house, new setup. So is that something you do it while writing,
Yeah.
or while you do on editable? I want to experiment this. I want to play around with the edit,
No, no.
or
Because I'm an editor and a writer who directs as well. That would be like the way I would describe myself. It really helps because I edit on paper. So I write the scene.
okay,
I know the next transition. I know this shot is going to go here. So this primarily is the main reason for this of my short film making background and my independent filmmaking background, because when you don't have money you have to be very precise with
yeah,
what you shoot, so you become very precise with what you write. So like this whole idea of trying to make a film in a certain budget help like makes this aspect very clear for me as a
got
writer.
it.
So all of it is written, like the whole idea of this driver leaving there, and there are accidental edits that I sort of discover while editing where I can match cut to
Okay,
something, but 90% of it is already written.
okay,
Great.
got it.
Great. I have one question specifically to Rakshit. Two videos of yours are supremely famous, right? The one it's the YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. One is when you say how good Telugu cinema audience are. That, like you said in the press meet where you said after Kannada, the one language that we wanted to make it well is this. That is okay. The second, the personal favorite of mine is when you run and hug Rishabh after Kantara. So first of all, I just saw that video, and I was like, why do I know this person? Like somehow I did not look at your face. It just looked like some random person from the audience went and hugged him because of how much he liked the movie. Then I realized it's you. Oh my goodness! So the question I wanted to ask is, like I said, Uliduvaru Kandante is my the first Kannada film that I watched. When are you collaborating with Rishabh again? And how much of Kantara 2 do you know of? Because we like the first part.
Uh, well, uh, yeah, there is no planning of collaboration as such. In the
Okay.
sense, there is a there is a script which I've written where I would want him to play one character. That one thing is there. But otherwise, Kantara two, I I know certain things, but probably he keeps secrets from his friends also. So I probably he wouldn't like if I talk about it right now.
No, no, we're not
But
asking you to talk about it. We just want to know what you know of and how you feel about it.
it's going to be like 10 times bigger than what you have seen in Kantara one.
Great.
Okay.
That is for sure. And yeah, that's so much I can talk, but
You put him in a bind,
I
guys.
know.
Also, coming to one more thing, lately all the Kannada films are doing so good with the lyrical value getting translated to Telugu. So I see Kantara, like we admire KGF because the kind of lyrical value it had, the kind of dubbing it had, it gave so much respect to Telugu audience the way it translated it. So good to see. And I see Sapsagara also did the same thing with, because when we watch film, we of course from few of Tamil movies we want to hear it in Tamil only, even though we don't understand anything. But for Sapta Sagarala, Kantara, and KGF, all these movies, we want to hear it in the Telugu language only, the lyrical value, songs of course. So how much it's your responsibility also to make sure it is getting translated correctly the way you want to uh, the audience to experience it, right? So how much credit you take, and who are the guys who are involved in getting this
No,
done,
I take
dubbing?
zero credit. It's not at all. I've contributed 1% to it, apart from constantly saying, is it nice? Is it okay? Is it nice? Is it okay? That's the only thing. But I have to compliment the people who have taken this responsibility, and how much of themselves they're giving to the whole process. Because our own lyricist Nagarjun Sharma is the main guy who's in charge of the translation process. Now, the
Okay.
good thing about Paramva and Rakshit is that because there is a legacy already, they had done Avnesh Narayana, then they had
True,
done
true.
777 Charlie. So there are a lot of lessons that were learned during these two films, because of which I have benefited. A lot of shared. I had a conversation with Sachin, I had a conversation with Kiran, where they shared their wisdom in terms of, okay, don't do
Okay.
this. We made a mistake with this. This person was good to work with. So a lot of shared knowledge becomes very valuable for me. So hopefully I can
Okay.
pass on that to somebody else. So that's how you maintain quality. I am very specific about the quality of writing. Like, if the quality of Kannada writing is very high, then I would expect the same. Yeah, yeah. My job is to set the bar very high.
Okay.
Sorry, just one thing that I wanted to add, that, the insight that I got from Hemant when he was, talking about lyrics and stuff like that, was that he was very particular about the voice. I don't mean like the literal voice of the singer or something, but the voice of the lyrics or the poetry of it. In that, Hemant, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the songs you were very specific that you wanted a lady to write
Yeah, yeah,
the lyrics
yeah.
for it.
The
Oh.
So because he wanted it, I mean, sorry, go on.
No, so Suvarna is the lyric writer in Kannada. The Olave Olave Nuve Nuve song
Right, right.
that released first. Point of view. I didn't want a man to write the perspective of a woman. It's very easy to say, this is a woman's perspective, but I was looking for a writer who's a woman who can write from a woman's perspective, because definitely it will be more nuanced. It'll have a lot more authenticity.
I
Uh,
uh, I actually am a person who doesn't watch the films in any other language than it is released in. I don't listen to the songs. So he Shankar actually takes the efforts to kind of listen to other languages and everything. But I just only watched it in Kannada. I've listened only to the Kannada songs.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to see so much effort going on. So primarily, what I understood is everything on the internet, be it any interviews or podcasts or whatever, usually ask directors about where they get their inspiration from. So we hear Quentin Tarantino, Scorsese, and all this. But as actors, who did you idolize as movie makers while growing up, or something of that sort?
Al Pacino.
Locked and loaded. He was ready.
So
Okay.
even both of you as well. So Al Pacino, you can expand. So because we would like to we hear all these usual names from usual people, but it feels different and nice coming from actors as well. So
Uh, I mean, there are a few actors like Al Pacino or Robert De Niro,
right,
whom I've loved,
correct,
and when they play characters, they don't. They're very real. They don't see them acting actually,
hmm.
and it's like they're more reacting to what their co-star is doing. So I always loved that idea, and in any of my film, I always wanted to do that, and especially when Hemant writes it, and Hemant also believes in that kind of performances. He
Correct.
likes all
That's
that,
true.
and so for me it becomes very easy to play the characters. What he not easy, but yeah, uh, to understand what he wants, especially. I like to work with Hemant because of the characters what he writes,
Great.
because there is
True.
so much depth to it, and all you have to do is just get inside the character, and that also he'll only take you for doing workshops, all that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
For me, it's Meryl Streep and
Oh, awesome.
Tom Hanks, and in Indian films, Nazir Shah and Shaban Azmi, because these people are chameleons. Like they put in some role, you will not know that these are those people, and especially Meryl Streep. So yeah,
I
Because
don't
of
know
them.
what your reaction to Big Little Lies was when Meryl Streep came after the end of the first season. I was blown away. So,
I like this
Julia Roberts?
no, the film of Meryl
Julie
Streep,
and
Oh,
Julie
Julia.
and Julia.
oh,
Julie and
okay,
Julia.
great.
Oh my God. Like I
Yeah.
cried thinking, when will I act like this? It's so good.
Yeah,
I think for me it was Kate Winslet.
Ah,
awesome.
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. No, see, it started off because I remember someone in school saying, "Hey, you look a little bit like Kate Winslet."
Oh.
And as a chubby schooler, I was like, "Win!" I was like,
Rakshit is by the way
Rakshit,
looking at you
just
like he's trying to find similarity.
I don't need this. Okay, I don't need this right now. But no, and in all seriousness, I love her range of work. I
Yeah.
mean, she has done such brilliant period work. But my biggest thing about her, the biggest inspiration that I derive from her life and her career is the kind of work she's doing now in her mid 40s. She did this show
True.
called Mayor of Easttown, and she was
Yes.
extremely vocal about the fact that she is not going to change her body anyway. She plays a mid 40-year-old cop in that movie, I mean in that show. She is going to keep her body the way it is as a mid 40-year-old. And that is to see another actress, a woman, sort of blaze that path of not being restricted by actresses needing to look a certain way. It fills you with a lot of courage that, okay, I don't have to retire when I'm 36.
true.
So yeah,
I'm
I have a lot
so
of
glad you brought up Mayor of Easttown. It's one of my favorite shows as well. The amount of baggage that Kate carried in that show is
Right?
insane. I
Like a
can't.
different drama in every episode.
Every
What
episode.
fun!
It's like, please stop with the baggage. We understand she's troubled. So, yeah. Hemant, we just asked them, but we would love to hear your picks as well.
Actors or
Actors or
filmmakers.
directors, whoever you are most inspired
Chaithra,
by.
Rakshit.
I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan, like a massive Ryan
Okay.
Gosling fan.
Oh
Where
yeah.
I like his latest the Fall Guy trailer. I've seen it like 10 times. Like every day I'll see once and look at it and be like, wow, he's the thing about Ryan Gosling is he knows how to tailor his performance as per the demand of the shot. Like he knows how to account for editing. Like I see that a lot. That is why I love working with Rakshit, because he's so well versed as a film technician himself, as a filmmaker himself. He knows how to tailor his performance for the shot. If I'm shooting just
Right.
a tight close up, he knows how to use just this much space. Like if
Right.
I'm using a long shot, he knows how to, you know like he knows the editing will convey the performance in some places. To have an actor
Understood.
understand those nuances is like a very beautiful thing. So
Great.
actors, yeah, there are many actors like that. For directors, of course, Martin Scorsese is one of the biggest influences. I'm a very big fan of uh, I'm a very big fan of Persian films, primarily because of Persian and French films, primarily because of the simplicity in the stories. They make stories about everyday things, like somebody,
Okay.
like Children of Heaven, for example. It's about a kid who wants shoes. That's it. The whole film
Okay.
is about that. So those kind of things really, for me as a growing filmmaker, as a young filmmaker, was very inspiring, because I was only tuned to, okay, he villain will be there. He has taken the heroine. Hero has to go and get her back. Like that was my only education of a certain kind of cinema. Not that is bad or good. It's just that when my mind opened up to different stories and different ways of filmmaking, it really helped me find my own voice, basically.
Got it. Yeah. So I just want to wrap with one question, final question. So it's side B. What is one sequence or one thing you think that you hit that right chord, you hit that bullseye, and you want people to look out for November 17th? I know it's a cliche question, but I want to end with this.
Actually, we released a
Yes,
song
yes,
today.
couple of hours back.
Uh,
Title track,
the,
right?
huh, yeah,
Mm.
the shift from the the same lyrics what we had inside here,
Okay.
but the genre of the song has changed,
Right.
and I think that explains. a lot, the difference between side A and side B.
Great.
So for me, it's like you've seen so many like Manu and Priya in side A, and they are also continuing in side B, and there are different characters that are coming in. So there's that full circle. Like you'll know these characters, will get some solace, but how what will what is that journey you don't know. That I think Hemant has given that full circle ka feeling to every character, not just Manu and Priya, for everybody. So that I like, and I think you should also experience that on November 17th.
Got it.
Yes, definitely.
No, I don't want to say anything. I am somebody. For me, the whole film is as in there are lots. There are too many for me to pick up. But Manu's journey is something that is very special for me.
Got
Ta-da.
So that was Team SapthaSaagaralu Dhaati Side B, releasing on November 17th. This is Team
Yeah.
Vishleshaklu signing off.